Let me repeat, only take out what you absolutely need to borrow. Hey my Sky Savers, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim and this is World of Sky, a world for women and moms looking to save money and get the most bang for your buck. And today we're talking all about student loans. So if you have student loans, welcome to the student loan party. You're far from being alone as a student loan borrower. Many of us, myself included, have used loans to help us achieve our academic goals. And many of us, myself included, did not know what we were signing up for. Today we're going to talk all about U.S. federal student loans. What type of loans are out there, what you may qualify for, and just student loan information in general. So if that sounds like something that you want to learn more about, please subscribe to my channel and let's go ahead and learn about these loans. So what are student loans? Student loans are a part of your total financial aid package. And your total financial aid package includes any federal or private sources that could be grants, scholarships, work study, or loans that help you pay for your education. So financial aid is a total package, if you will, and loans are a part of your financial aid package. So let's break down the different types of financial aid that you may qualify for. And this can be from a federal level, a state level, can be private sources, or it can also be from your school directly. The first type of financial aid is grants, and grants are free money that typically don't have to be repaid. Keep in mind there are some cases if you leave school or if you drop enroll the qualification levels that you will need to repay that. But in general, grants do not have to be repaid. The second type of financial aid is scholarships. These also do not have to be repaid. Scholarships often come from different private or nonprofit organizations, and they are based on your merit, talent, academic status, a plethora of qualifications. The amount of scholarships that you can receive can vary, and you can receive an unlimited source of scholarships based on your school's cost of attendance. The next type of financial aid is work study. Work study is a federal program that allows you to work part-time while you're in school, and you can use the money you earn to pay for school. The next type of financial aid is military aid. So this is for individuals who are in the military or veterans, and also their qualifying family members. And the last type of financial aid is loans, and that is what we'll be discussing today. Loans are a type of financial aid that is borrowed and it must be repaid. I repeat that, it must be repaid with interest. That's the catch. It has to be repaid with interest. So loans can be federal, they can be private, so they can be from a private credit union or bank. It can be from a different organization. You can receive loans directly from your school. The gist of it is that loans are not free money and they need to be repaid to your lender with interest. So there are two types of student loans. You have your federal student loans and you have your private student loans. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between the two. Federal student loans are funded by the government and they typically have better benefits than your private student loans. So you have a fixed interest rate, you have the same interest rate for everyone, and also better repayment terms, and these loans do not require a credit check. Private loans, on the other hand, are from a private lender, so a bank, a credit union. They can determine whatever qualifications they like for you to qualify to receive the loan from them. There usually is a credit check associated with private student loans, as well as they set their own repayment terms. So you would have to check with the lender to see what your repayment terms are, but they oftentimes are not better than the federal student loans, as well as the interest rates are typically quite a bit higher than your federal student loans. So you will want to exhaust your federal student loan options first before you even start looking into private loans. Again, exhaust your federal student options first. If you've used everything and received everything that you can receive federally, then that is a time that you would look into private student loans if you needed additional funding. So now let's talk about the federal student loan options and the difference between them. First, you have your direct subsidized loans, also known as sub. So you may hear other people refer to it as your sub loan throughout this video. That's how I refer to it. This type of loan is available for undergraduate students who show a financial need. Your financial need is determined by your FAFSA, and the school will determine the amount of sub that you may borrow based on your need. Regarding interest on the subsidized loan, the federal government will pay the interest on your loan while you are enrolled in school at least half time, which means for undergraduates, 6 credit hours or more. They will also pay the interest on the loan while you are in your 6-month grace period, and they will also pay the interest on the loan for any time that your loan is in a deferment period. And a deferment is simply a break that you are taking from making payments on your loans that has been agreed upon between you and your lender. So that is what a direct subsidized loan is. The next type of loan that we'll discuss is a direct unsubsidized loan, also known as unsub. Unsub loans are available to both undergraduate students as well as graduate students, and you do not need to show a financial need in order to receive these loans. You do still, however, have to complete your FAFSA in order to qualify, but you do not need to show a financial need. So because of this, majority of students do qualify for the direct unsub loan. Your school will, however, determine how much you can borrow of unsub based on your cost of attendance as well as any other financial aid that you are receiving. Regarding interest on the unsub loan, you are responsible for the interest during all periods of an unsubsidized loan. So that means whether you are in school, in your grace period, in deferment, and forbearance, no matter what the status of your loan is, you are responsible for all of the interest on your unsub loan. So if you qualify for subsidized, you want to exhaust all of your subsidized loan first and then use your unsub. If you do not need the unsubsidized loan, do not take the unsubsidized loan. Only take what you need. Let's talk about the loan limits for sub and unsub. So there are limits to the amount of sub if you qualify, as well as unsub that you can borrow within an academic year, as well as in your entire schooling life, and that is called your aggregate loan limit. There are 2 factors in determining the loan limits. The first thing is, what year in school are you? Your year in school is determined by the completed amount of credit hours that you have. As you progress through school, the amount of sub and unsub that you qualify for will increase. The second thing is whether you're an independent student or a dependent student. In order to qualify as an independent student, you must meet one of these following qualifications: 24 years or older, married, a graduate or professional student, a veteran, a member of the armed forces, an orphan, a ward of the court, someone with legal dependents other than a spouse, an emancipated minor, or someone who is homeless or at risk of being homeless. If you meet one of those qualifications, you would be considered an independent student. A dependent student is anyone who does not meet the qualifications that we just listed. So dependency status is not determined by taxes, how you or maybe your parents file your taxes. That is not how it's determined for federal student aid. It is determined by those qualifications that we just discussed. You're either an independent student or a dependent student based on meeting or not meeting one of those categories that we just discussed. If you are categorized as a dependent student based on the criteria, you will need to use your parents' information on your FAFSA in order to qualify for federal student aid. As I mentioned before, you have an aggregate loan limit on the amount of sub and unsub that you can receive in your entire schooling lifetime. For dependent students, the current max is $31,000. $23,000 of that being sub loan and $8,000 of that being unsub. For independent students and also dependent students whose parents do not qualify for the Parent Plus loan, the current max is $57,500, $23,000 of that being sub, and $34,500 of that being unsub. For graduate or professional students, the current maximum is $138,500. Of that, $65,500 can be sub, and the other $73,000 would be unsub. Keep in mind, for the aggregate loan limits for graduate and professional students, that also does include any federal loans that you had as an undergraduate. So you'll want to keep that in mind when you're mapping out how much loan eligibility you have left. So if you reach the max loan limits, you will not be able to borrow any more federal student aid. The only way that you would be able to start borrowing again is if you paid down some of your loan. You would then be able to borrow again back up to that maximum amount. And if you are enrolled in a graduate or professional health profession program, you may qualify to receive additional funding, so you want to check with your financial aid office and find out what additional options are available for those students. The interest rates for sub and unsubbed are fixed interest rates, so that does mean that the interest rate will remain the same for the life of your loan. Now let's talk about direct plus loans. These are loans that are available to parents of dependent students as well as graduate or professional students. For parents, this loan is often referred to as the Parent Plus loan, and for graduate or professional students, it's often referred to as the Grad Plus loan. To qualify for either of these plus loans, a credit check will be performed and you must have a positive credit history to qualify for it. If you have an adverse credit history, you may still be able to qualify for if you meet additional qualifications, so they will reach out to you and let you know what qualifications that you need to meet in order to actually receive the plus loan. For dependent students whose parents do not qualify for the Parent Plus loan, you may be able to receive additional unsub funding. So parents, please do keep this in mind. If you don't qualify for the Parent Plus loan and your student still needs additional funding, they may be able to qualify for additional unsubsidized loans to help them cover the cost. The last type of federal student loan that we'll talk about is a direct consolidation loan. So if you have several federal student loans, you can consolidate them all into one loan with a fixed interest rate based on the average interest rates of each loan being consolidated. You can do a consolidation at no cost to you, so it's free. And the purpose of consolidating your loans would just be to simplify your repayment. So instead of having 5 different loans that you need to pay, it will consolidate those 5 loans into one loan and you would make one monthly payment. Now let's talk about some additional information regarding federal loans. Regardless of what type of federal loan you receive, the first time that you will borrow, you will need to do 2 things. The first thing is you must complete entrance counseling. Entrance counseling is so that you understand that this is a loan and that it does have to be repaid. And the second thing that you must complete is a master promissory note, also referred to as MPN. And this is a loan contract agreeing to the terms of the loan. For both your entrance counseling and your MPN, please, 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 I cannot stress this enough, read through them thoroughly. Thoroughly. Don't just sign them. If somebody puts a paper in front of you or they send you a document electronically, don't just sign it. Make sure that you read it and you understand the terms that you're agreeing to and what you're actually signing up for. Woo, that was a lot. I know. I hope that you found it helpful in helping understand the different types of loans that are available to you that you may qualify for to help you meet your educational goals. As you navigate through the financial aid process, specifically getting those student loans, keep these things in mind. 1, only take out what you absolutely need. Let me repeat, only take out what you absolutely need to borrow. It can be tempting to take out more because, it's available. But remember, you have to pay that back. And you have to pay it back with interest. The second thing is know what type of loan you're taking out. Is it a sub loan? Is it an unsub? Is it a plus loan? This way you understand who is to pay the interest on that loan. Remember, the government will pay the interest on the subsidized loan during certain periods of time. If you don't understand the differences between the different types of loans, please go back and rewatch the video until you understand it. It's crucial to understand this information because in the repayment process, it's going to determine how much money you pay back over the life of your loan. And the third thing for you to always keep in mind is to know the interest rates. The federal interest rates, they don't adjust like super frequently, but they do change. So you want to make sure that you're staying abreast of what the current interest rate is for every loan that you're taking out. So now knowing everything that you know, please share this video with any student, parents, anyone thinking about going to school. This information is essential for you to know before you take out the loans. Like me and many other people out there, you didn't know what you were getting into before signing up for these loans. So share this with as many people as we can so that they have a sound understanding of what the federal student loan system looks like. Now, do me a favor. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell for future notifications so you don't miss any uploads from me. I will be uploading a video talking all about student loan repayment plans and options that you have, so you don't want to miss that. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.